the thing on? Why is it dark? Don't worry, listeners, I'll get there in the end. See, that's on. Oh, that's better. Oh, look, perfect. Kye, you're centre stage.
Yeah.
It'll be funny at the end when we finish, because I'm going to have to go up and pick my phone up, listeners and viewers now. We're on YouTube, so we have viewers as well. So I've got to get used to saying that, being on radio.
Good.
All right, listeners, Noelzy here, out and about. Tonight I'm at the Speed Dome, the only speed dome in WA, and I'm joined for this session by none other than upcoming WA cyclist, 4-time Oceania champ, Kye Bonser. Welcome to the Smash Crew, Kye.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. Now, in a nice big loud voice, don't be shy, remember?
Yeah.
He's very softly spoken, but he's got some great achievements. For all the viewers out there, would you like to introduce yourself and let them know who you are and where you're from?
Hi guys, I'm Kye Bonser. I'm a sprint track cyclist from Western Australia, and yeah, my sport is track cycling.
And you're a local Perth boy?
Yeah, I'm from Perth, from like the north side of the river.
Go north side. Now, Kye and I were talking before, and we've had a little bit of a time to get to know each other, so I'm not going to hit him with all the embarrassing questions too early.
Yeah.
I came down last night, met your mum, and she was talking you up, but can you tell everyone, because cycling isn't really that well known,
Yeah.
how did you actually come to be in cycling? Have you done anything before that?
Before cycling, I used to do little athletics and also state basketball for East Perth, the Wobble League. And yeah, I fell into cycling because of my little sister, Karis. She had a
Hi, Karis.
She had a friend that invited her to do some cycling, and if you know my little sister, she kept pestering my mum, trying to go to cycling, but we were too busy with basketball and athletics. And yeah, so one day it was like a thunderstorm and athletics training got cancelled, and
Shocking performance, athletics. Any weather, come on now.
and yeah, athletics training got cancelled, and Mum and Karis, Karis asked Mum if we could go to cycling, and Mum was like, alright, I'll shut you up and take you to cycling. And I got dragged along, and I cracked the sads big time.
How old were you then?
I was 15 or 14.
14, 15.
So yeah, and then I cracked the sads, and Mum packed a helmet in the car, one of my old bike helmets and some joggers, and we got to the velodrome.
Did she think you'd run around the track with a helmet?
No.
Come on, Mum.
And then yeah, just like I walked in and I turned around and saw the banking in the background, and I was just like pretty breathtaking away how steep it was. And yeah, I just like got given a bike, and I did one lap, and I've loved it since and never looked back.
So that was, I asked before, you're 19 now, so that was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
For a bloke that's come from athletics and basketball, was it tough for you to get into cycling, accepting that you liked it? What did all your friends and that think about it?
All my friends, they gave me a bit of stick for wearing the lycra and all that, but then once they found out I started ticking a few like events off and moving up through the food chain and getting pretty good at it, they gave me a bit more respect. And that, because they were like, oh, I'll come back to basketball.
I don't know if there's anyone on the track. Well, there's, just for the listeners and viewers out there, there's 6 people on the track at the moment, and they're having a snail race, it looks like.
Yeah, they're doing a slow race.
A slow race.
Practicing the track standing.
Now, from that beginning, we've spoken, you've been in the WA State Championships.
Yeah.
Who do you race for?
I race for Track Cycling WA. It's a club, and there's multiple clubs around. There's clubs down in like Peel Cycling Club, so like Pinjarra and Mandurah way, and then there's Midland Cycle Club. They're pretty good.
They've been around for a while.
Yeah, they've been around for like 100 years. And then I think Northern Districts Cycle Club is still going, so north of the river. But yeah, I ride for the Track Cycling WA club.
Now, one of the things that we spoke about was the fact that you've not just represented TCWA, Track Cycling WA, you've actually competed in national events and international events as well. So, for all the viewers out there, talk us through that story. How have you gone from just not wanting to ride, getting dragged along by mum and your sister, to now being representing Australia?
So I guess I fell in love with the sport because I just love just riding my bike fast. I fell in with like that, just going real fast on the track and that. So
what sort of speeds do you hit?
At the moment, probably when we do motorbike efforts, I hit around 80 k's an hour, 78 to 80 k's an hour, and then like by myself, I think I hit around like 74 to 71.
Oh, that I tell you, listeners, I spoke to Kye before. I've only ever ridden a bike a few times in my life, back in school days, and I rode once from Midland to Perth.
Yeah.
Nearly killed me. That was 20 k's. It took me an hour. Probably not going to get me out on the track here. The bank is quite steep. I don't know. I'll try and get some pictures later, listeners, so you can see that.
Yeah, it's about a 45-degree banking, and then in the straights, I think it evens out to about 15 to 25 degrees.
Sorry, you go.
And yeah, like when you're riding around real fast, you don't really notice the track moving. You like move with the track because of the G forces and all that.
So you get G forces out there.
Yeah, you just feel it. You feel it when you're going around. When you go super fast, and that you start feeling the bike turn underneath you, and you just flow with the track.
Have you ever gone up tail end?
Yeah, I've had a few big crashes.
On the banks?
Yeah, well, my very first crash was at a state championships, and I rolled off the line, and I was trying to get to the back because I didn't want to be on the front, and I went into the bend too slow, and I slipped out from underneath, and they restarted the race, and I got given the front again, and I did the exact same thing again 2 minutes later. So.
Oh well, where'd you finish in that race?
I finished 5th overall, I'm pretty sure.
Out of
like 14 or 15 people.
Not a bad result if you've gone.
And that was after 3 months of riding. So I was still pretty raw to the track.
Now we'll wait for Mel to stop shouting at him. Game on, listeners. Game on, riders. I'm crazy. Everyone out there knows that. We were talking before, you're a part of the WACE program as well, the WA Institute of Sport.
Yeah.
Since you started, now this has really taken up a big chunk of your time. What's involved in representing your country, or your state and country, because where do you want to be?
So yeah, I want to go to the Olympics and try and be an Olympic champion and gold medalist. But yeah, and like a world record holder. Those are my goals. I've set pretty high, and I hold a very high standard of myself, of like where I want to go.
Yeah.
I set them really, really high, but I believe in myself. I can get there, and if you put in the work, and you have like the right support around you and the right people, I believe you can get anywhere. And as long as your heart's in it and you're enjoying it.
And that's one of the big things that we talk about on the Smash Crew, is having the right support. As Mel decides that now they're allowed to go fast, but I still, You'll see him come past us in a second, listeners, because the track's only 250 metres?
Yeah, 250 metres
So it's not even a kilometre.
Yeah.
Surely some of our mob out there can get on a bike and ride a quarter of a K.
Yeah.
But now that you've set yourself those goals and we talk about the support behind you, how many hours a week roughly do you reckon that you would train?
I'd probably say close to 15 to 16 hours roughly.
On the track?
That's it, off and
Everything,
on the track,
yeah.
so everything. But on the track, I reckon I do about 8 hours
A week?
Yeah, so...
And how many Ks would you get done in that time?
Well, I'm a sprinter, so I don't do many Ks. Known as like...
You're just a power man.
Yeah, I'm just a strength and power boy.
Because we were talking as well, you do some work in the gym. And
Yeah, so a lot of gym work I do to help build strength, to push bigger gears, to go faster.
So lots of leg work?
Yeah, a lot of leg work, as everyone says.
Well, I mean...
But it is it's a strength and power sport, and you only use your legs and your core.
And I've seen enough international races, and even here, there's a young kid here called Lockie. Shout out Lockie, I met him last night. He's got legs that are like tree trunks.
Yeah.
He's only 4'5", and his legs are almost as wide as him.
Yeah.
Diet important as well?
Yeah, diet's pretty important. They try and make you as lean and as light as possible, but also putting on that muscle mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they watch your skin folds as well, like a hawk. The waist.
You don't look like you got many.
I
You can borrow some of mine if you want to have.
I could be a little bit lighter, but I
Why?
just
How
think
heavy are you?
I'm 81.7 at the moment.
0.7.
Yeah, so my goal is to get to 85 by the end of the year.
Yeah. So what's the next big meet for you then? Are they called meets?
Yeah, they're called Grand Prix or championships,
Yeah.
usually, or race meets. And I've got Oceania Championships coming up in October, and there I'll be racing my first elite race ever, because I missed out all of last season.
Now, for all the listeners out there, this is the saddest tale ever. Tell the listeners the story you shared with me before about going to the Nationals. Oh no, it was overseas, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the World Championship.
He went to Italy. Listen to this for a sad tale.
So I went over to Junior World Championships, and I was lucky to be selected and to represent Australia, which was one of my big goals that I got to tick off pretty early.
Yep.
And given me a taste of the big world, of like racing around the world at a real high class.
Because it's very big in Europe, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a different racing style to Australia as well, I found.
Yeah.
And so I went over and I was ranked third in the world for the kilo, kind of like my pet event. And leading up to it, I was training super hard because I was real keen and motivated. And like I think we got a little bit hungry, and we might have overcooked me a little bit, but over there I was like not firing right. I just didn't feel normal, and so there was like something not firing. So just like I didn't know, I'd never been in that situation before, so I kind of know my body pretty well, but this one like threw me a bit off, and I was just trying to work out why and what was going on. And I did my pet event and I finished, I think it was 17th in the world in the end, out of like 58 starters or something.
Still a credible effort.
It's a pretty solid field, and
Oh, bell lap, one to go.
and yeah, I just like came back, and it was I came back and had a blood test, and I found out I had glandular fever at the time. So
You're cured now, aren't you?
I'm pretty sure. Had a lot of time off trying to get myself back to normal and get over it, and then start hitting it hard again.
So the Oceania champs are coming up. When are they?
October the 10th to the 13th.
And where are they?
They're in Adelaide.
Okay.
So be a good meet and good to finally get aboard on the time after a year of not riding.
Wow, that long out.
A year of not racing at like a real high level. But I've been doing a bit of club racing.
Yep.
On a Friday night.
Do you dominate?
Oh, no. I wouldn't
That's
wanna...
a yes. He doesn't want to say it. All you other cyclists, catch him if you can.
It's a good meet, like on a Friday night. It's pretty friendly, and it's just have a good time and race and just ride your bike.
And that's down here at the Speed Dome?
Here at the Speed Dome, so you can come out and have a watch. It's free. You don't have to pay to watch. So free entertainment on your Friday night to watch it.
Big, wow. There's
a big
couple of thousand,
grandstand.
the big grandstand.
Yeah.
If you want to come sit, bring the kids for. What time does that start?
I think warm up starts at 6 and racing starts at 6:30.
Okay.
And then it finishes around 8 or 8:30, and there's all